Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. It's almost TGIF. Let's see what's going on. The market's much improved this morning. I'm thinking of putting some money to work in the model portfolio. Anyway, thinking about GRNI possibly, or possibly QLDY, or possibly WPay, or possibly K-yield. So choices. All right. Anyway, we can talk about that later. Let's look at the darn market and see what's going on. The pros versus Joe's indicator is much improved. It's still in the yellow, but it's improved from yesterday. Still flashing caution, and I'm still cautious also, just until Bitcoin gets out of its bear market. Let's do that. Okay. So, but anyway, I was looking at Costco this morning, but not to buy. So let's look at good old SPY. I don't like this setup because I like to be able to see what's going on. So I'm probably going to switch it back. But in any event, but I might do this for special events whenever we have something where, an earnings announcement or something. I think this is kind of cool. But yeah, look at that massive morning gap. I just saw that the Qs are up 2.45 or something. So that's incredible. Now, the other side to all of this stuff is, we still need to take back we still need to take back the trend line if we want to keep this going at some point. But like I always say, Rome was built in a day. But hopefully we just start putting in higher lows and creeping up that direction. Let's put in the morning. Oh, shoot. Anyway, I'll do that later. Anyway, that's a good look for SPY. That's obviously a good look for SPY. Let's get on a shorter term chart. Yeah, so first down for these guys would be to take back the trend line. That'd be like driving and getting it on within field goal range. Field goal range is that descending trend line right there. Come on, bulls. The bearish case is that we don't, we reject here and go down and fill the gap today, close underneath it, and then nothing's changed. Nothing's changed if that happens, but we shall see. Okay, so that's SPY. Let's look at Qs. And VIX versus VIVIX is still in the warning, but there was flashing a sign of life yesterday. I talked about it on my night's live stream, but we had a condition where market down, VIX down, and the market didn't close down. It ended up like 15 basis points or something. But for a good part of the day, the market was down and VIX was down also. That's sometimes a sign that the selling is getting overdone. Just like market up, VIX up is sometimes a sign that the selling is getting ready to pick up. So in any event, this looks good. Let's see where these guys' descending trend line is. Let's see if the Qs can get it back within field goal range. Let's do something like this. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that would definitely work for the Qs. The Qs are right on a major inflection point. This whole thing up here looks like an island reversal or a bear trap. And so this was the previous high right here at 613, which is right where the Qs are trading. They opened above it and pulled back into that range. If the Qs can't hold this, they go down, fill the gap. Nothing's changed. If they fill the half gap and then rally a little bit, yeah, then maybe something's changed. But we definitely don't want a gap fill today on this gigantic gap right here. Not a full one. We definitely don't want to close the other side. That would be bad. So, and here's the really bearish case, because Bitcoin controls a lot of probably a third of the risk assets in the Q, probably in the Qs, they're probably, or maybe a third or four. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Bitcoin rallied to its trend line and sellers were there again. They sold the heck out of 93, and last time they sold the heck out of 90, 94. And the time before that, they sold the heck out of 95. They have a descending trend line here, which I'm not going to put on there, but their descending trend line still well in force. Lately Bitcoin's been leading the market. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see the market also. I mean, we'll see, but that's not a good look though. Let's look at IBIT, since IBIT's the actual proxy that these guys use. I mean, IBIT left behind a slight bullish gap, but let's see if they close it today. Hopefully they won't. Hopefully they'll make a higher low. But if these guys don't make a higher low, if these guys close the gap and make a lower low, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. But we'll see. Take it one trade at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. All right. Am I sharing the screen? I am. Okay. Let me say hi to you guys. Can you guys see the TV? Oh, it doesn't really matter. The TV's just for decoration. Hey, Ethan's here. Ethan, my good buddy, Ethan. Thank you so much. So somebody sent me $10 last night on PayPal, and I tried to hit respond and send it back, but it said you can't email them. I guess they didn't leave an email. And I didn't recognize the name. It was like a company name, an LLC name. But anyway, thank you very much, whoever it was. It was somebody on my night live stream. Somebody asked me to put my PayPal link in the comments. And then after I got off, I got a $10. And then also I got a 99-cent super chat or a super sticker or whatever it's called. So I appreciate that. Hey, Mark. Hey, DGen. Hey, J-Pod. And, of course, Ethan. I've already said hey to Ethan. And there's Marcus, of course. And here we have G-Will. Hey, G-Will. My nephew's name is Will, and he just had a baby. Him and his wife did. And so my sister's a first-time grandmother. I'm not a grandfather yet, but it's probably going to happen sooner than later. That's what happens. These kids grow up and they decide to get married and have kids of their own. Just kind of the way it works, right? Anyway, all right. Thanks for being here, G. Will. All right, so let's look at some other stuff here. Let's go, first of all, let's go over here to the index buffer. Let's see what's moving. You think feed and 5E, it should be up the most today. If the feed and 5E doctrine holds true, it should be up the most. And that's not holding true today. Actually, up the most today is old WDT from Defiance beating the parent asset. And YSPY, heck yes, YSPY. Heck yes, YSPY. That's how those leveraged callers come in play. They sell leveraged put spreads, but a put spread's a synthetic caller. You don't need stock. It's the same thing. Same risk, same reward. So they're basically doing leveraged synthetic callers. Think of it as the ULTY strategy, but synthetically. And then think about it as with triple leveraged underlines. So anyway, good job, YSPY. YSPY was getting hurt in the pullback like we'd expect because it was triple leveraged, options. But in any event, all right, I like to see that. SFAL, nice job, SFAL. So these guys mainly sell volatility. But what's volatility doing? I looked at what the ratio is doing, but I really didn't look at what the raw numbers doing. So it's got to be getting crushed today. Of course, it's getting crushed. The ratio is actually improving. It's just still in the yellow. All right. Like I say, volatility started getting crushed yesterday. Maybe somebody knew in advance. People were also buying NVIDIA calls in advance. I didn't get that information until afterwards, but Wells were loading up on NVIDIA calls all week. However, the other side of that, the same people that told me that last night, I think it was Geeks of Finance, or it may have been Cheddar Flow, but also yesterday, people were loading up on SPY puts. So in other words, Wells were positive about NVIDIA and bought calls in those, but SPY puts were still being bought. In fact, the way that they put it is they tripled down on SPY puts yesterday. So, there's definitely two theses working here. There's a thesis that the market's going to follow Bitcoin. And then there's a thesis, well, that now that NVIDIA hit earnings, that the AI, AI is not really a bubble. We have more to go on the upside. But there are kind of two theses here. And of course, AI is pretty related to Bitcoin. But it's somewhat related. Quantum computing, AI, Bitcoin. Jackson, what are you chewing on over there, buddy? What do you got? I think it's just a piece of cardboard. Hang on. Jackson, what do you got, buddy? Oh, that's all right. Okay. It's okay. It's an old paper towel roll. You can chew on that, buddy. No problem, buddy. I'll just checking on you. All right, so let's see over here in Q-Land which one's doing the best. SEPI, that's nice to see. LFGY, that's really nice to see. I'm sure that's blocks, of course. Heck yes, blocks. Heck yes, blocks. And ULTY, that's kind of surprising, but we'll take it. Just because it's capped, it usually doesn't do as well as LFGY on the upside. And it definitely doesn't do as well as blocks on the upside. Other things being equal, if blocks is up 5, LFGY is up 3, and ULTY, it's obviously a good day if those are up. But ULTY on an average kind of thing might have been up 2 or something. But anyway, whatever, we'll take it. And then we have ULTI. It's up. I mean, that's we'll take that too. WPay looking good. Not quite as good as ULTY or LFGY, but it's still looking good. It didn't look quite as bad in the pullback as those two either. So that leverage doesn't hurt WPay as bad as people think it might, or at least it didn't in the last pullback. WPay was pretty much consistently outperforming LFGY and ULTY. Anyway, so good job, WPay. We'll take it. It did a little bit better on the way down. So what if it's a little bit behind right now? Who cares? Don't have to have just one of them. You don't have to be a Roundhill fanboy or a YieldMax fanboy. I think they're both good companies. You know, I have a little bit of both of them, and then you mix in a little curve just for good measure. You got a tough combination. Then you get your little Rex, and then you're set. All right, YMAG doing well. Of course, the hedges are down today, and that's fine. That is fine with me. I want my hedges to lose money every day. Let's see here. The hedges are for the things you can't foresee. But on a normal day, your hedge ought to lose money. That's fine. It ought to bleed, and they're bleeding today. So I'm fine with that. All right, so that's that. Let's look at the yield max buffer report. Wow, there's only 3 that are down. Misty, of course. Gosh darn Misty. Come on. Infly, PayPal, and Abdi's outperforming on the way down, but that's not really statistically significant on that small of a move. But then as far as outperformance on the way up, people always say these don't catch upside. Don't tell that to SMCY. It's beating the parent right now. Don't tell that to Snowy. It's beating the parent right now. Don't tell that to Omark. It's spanking the parent. Of course, YMAG is beating the parent. ULTY, we've already discussed, is putting it on the parent. Heck yes, ULTY. Great job. That's not a usual thing for ULTY, but we'll take it we'll take it today. We will darn sure take it. And the rest of them look like they have good performance. Aptly is almost beating the parent. So I think that was a good thing to look at. Okay, the Diversified Divas graphic isn't updated yet, but let's just look at the more primitive graphic. I mean, this one's updated, so we can kind of see what's going on. It's not, I mean, for whatever reason, LFGY is not down right now. Gosh darn it. Let's look at that. That looks like yesterday's stuff. Oh no, I forgot. Okay, I just forgot to copy the formulas down. My bad. I bet I did everything else. I put the dividends in and I updated everything else. I thought I did everything. All right, so now let's go look at LFGY and see what it's doing. Daily percent change. There we go. That's more like it. Yeah. It has ULTY up too much. That's my fault because I thought it went X today, but it went X yesterday. So yesterday if you looked at this graphic, it was ULTY wasn't up enough, and today it's up too much according to this graphic. Hang on, let me fix that. I'm so sorry. So we're going to paste the value, and then I'm going to take that out. Last week it was on the wrong date also, but no one cares. No one missed. It's fine. It's fine. So now let's look at the daily percent change. That was giving ULTY way too much credit. Yeah, that's what it's really up, and according to Google and everything as well. Okay, but this one yesterday where it said it had ULTY flat yesterday. If I would have had the dividend in the right day, well, I just put it in the right day, so it updated. Okay, so ULTY was really up yesterday, including the dividend. Anyway, good job, ULTY. All right. Everyone loves to hate that one, but I mean, it's been good to me anyway. But not financial advice. It's not for everybody. It's definitely one of the riskier ones. Probably the second riskiest one next, or the third riskiest one next to blocks and ULTI. So to keep that in mind. All right. But I just don't like this graphic very much, but I like just the general look of that. Everything's up, you know. The safer one, notice how the safer ones aren't up as much as the more risky ones, but that's kind of how risk and reward. I mean, that makes sense. The safer ones did a lot better in the pullbacks, but they're, you know, a fund can be too safe too. I mean, everybody loves, I love GPTY or whatever, but it's, you know, it's on the safer. It's QLDY. I love it. It's on the safer side. Does better in pullbacks, but worse or, you know, it might lag a little bit on the upside. All right. But like I say, you don't have to have just one of them. I have a lot of these. I have blocks. I have K yield. I have WPay. I have QLDY. I used to have LFGY and GPTY, so I like those. I've never had Chippy. So anyway, so that's good. So let's look at the rolling total return now. All right. Well, we'll take it. Rome wasn't built in a day. Hopefully we've arrested the rate of descent from these, and ULTI's turned around and is going back up. Blocks made a serious turnaround. It went from down 25 to 24.5 to down 21 and change. Great job, blocks. ULTY is still down 12%, even including those big dividends and stuff. But the only thing you can say about ULTY is doing a heck of a lot better than LFGY, blocks, and ULTI. But that's just math. It's the callers working. But it's not doing as well as these other ones, K yield and WPay. They have different strategies, but QLDY is just a monster. I'm going to put a third of my cash to work today, or maybe a fourth of my cash. I'm still not sold on this market. But I think I could spend a fourth of this cash in case it firms up from here. So I'm trying to think. I'd really probably be stupid not to put in a QLDY. I mean, as much as I am into protecting the downside, I mean, in the last pullback, QLDY did awesome. So did WPay, though, compared to some of the riskier ones. But I have enough blocks. I have enough ULTY. Probably going to spend about a fourth of the cash on QLDY. I'm also thinking about GRNI, though, the Granny Shots Income Fund from Tom Lee. So I don't know. I'll probably wait till the end of the day. I'll make sure that gap doesn't fill. If the gap doesn't fill, if the gap fills and we fell, and kind of like Bitcoin's doing, we'll maybe I'll wait till tomorrow. Or maybe I'll just still do it at the end of the day, but I'll get a better price. All right, so that's that. What else do I have to show you? So I also want to show you this. Let's look at this, and let's go to stocktools.app. I have an affiliate code here, and I really like this web app. Could do so much stuff with it as far as options. I always use it lately for this income ETF analysis. It's like a better buffer report. Much better buffer report. Anyway, let's select all these funds and line them up and see what else is going on. All right. I always hit the wrong one. All right. So let's just get a little daily results loaded in here. I got to look back at the market while it's loading. Just concerned about Bitcoin. Why does Bitcoin keep selling off at resistance every time? Why does it have so much overhead supply? Did Satoshi sell his position? Are the wells out of Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin winner here? I mean, IBIT's still going down versus the last time I looked at it. Gosh darn it, IBIT. SPY's holding steady. Q's holding steady. Both of them still need to take back their moving average, but anyway. All right, well, let's go back over here, see if we have our chart loaded yet. There we have it. All right, one-day ETF or one-day return of the ETF. Look at that, AVGW, using that 20% weekly leverage effectively. So is TSLW. So is GOOW. My new friend Zombie would be happy about that. He's been a big believer in that one and done really well. And I'm sure a lot of you other guys have done well in the W funds. I have it in WPay, but And look at blocks. Heck yes, blocks, you're a monster. So notice blocks is diversified. I kind of ignore the ones that aren't diversified. Not that they can't be a good trade or whatever, but they're just so dependent. They just have so much variance, and it's just 90% of what they do is based on the what the parent does. Now blocks though has a group of underlyings. Now it's not really fair to call it diverse, but it's more diverse than a single stock. Blocks has a group of underlines, that are based in Bitcoin and Ethereum and tech, Anyway, that's really impressive to have a group of underlines up 5%, especially when the NASDAQ itself's just up, a percent. Heck yes. I don't know if that's a NASDAQ or no, that's IBIT, especially when IBIT's up 1%. Of course, IBIT was the chart we're looking at that's kind of failing. It's up, but I mean, it's sold off. It just doesn't look great still. It does not look great. It goes up and hits that moving average and people, hit the sell button. That's not the sign of a healthy Bitcoin market. All right, TS2, great job from Rex, getting a lot of upside. ULTI, great job from ULTI. I don't really believe it's up 4.71, but it's not even worth. It's not even worth messing with. NV2, maybe they got the dividend on the wrong date too, because I think mine was up like 4.5 before I moved the X date to the right X date. And I know Rob doesn't have it messed up, but it's kind of weird. I mean, it's because it's not really up that much. Let's go look. Usually we need to start looking at this, and technical analysis doesn't really work on the high yield funds. It's probably ill advised. Yeah, this is saying 2.84. But it looks like it was up 3 point something, but it was never up 4 point something. And the X day was yesterday. There it is. But I still think we can look at these on a daily chart, dividends included, and just get that's the daily chart, and that's dividends included. Yeah. All right. So this is still, I'm always griping about Bitcoin being in a bear market. This is in a bear market too, and that's part of the reason why I sold a third of it, because I thought the whole market was going down, but then I sold another third of it when we lost the 200-day moving average. I'm feeling pretty good about it right now, about lightening the load on that. All right, so that's that. Let's look at let's look at the other ones too. So let's look at LFGY and see how it is. See if it's in a bear market. It is too. It's under its 200-day. What else do we look at over here? Let's look at SEPI. I'll go back to that other one in a second, but I want it now. SEPI. Of course, it's from Rex, a little bit safer. Rex just has a safer. I think they use monthly options. I mean, I know FEPI uses monthly options. Yeah, so SEPI does too. So it's not quite as volatile, pays a little bit lower yield, but they are not under the 200-day. That's a good look. That's a good look for SEPI. The other ones are really too new to look at. I mean, they don't have a 200-day moving average. Blocks would darn sure be under it if it did have a 200-day moving average. Anyway, at least it's going the right direction. All right, back to this. But yeah, ULTY is not really up that much. It's up about 3. All right, NV2 though, that's a good one based on NVIDIA catching more than the parent's upside. Great job, Rex. LFGY, great job. Yield Max is not really up that much. Maybe we should hit refresh. Maybe it's just based on a stale quote. Maybe they opened up that much. The opening print was pretty high. Oh, Jackson, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I kicked his head by mistake. I kicked my legs back and crossed my. Anyway, I moved my legs. I'm sorry, Jackson. It's okay. I didn't kick him that hard. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, buddy. You can lay your head down. It's okay. I won't do that anymore. I won't do that. All right. Okay, so that's for a week or a month. All right. Back to this. Look, now ULTY is number 1 on this list. I mean, it's, Rob watches this. He's probably fixing this right now. Rob watches this show. He just doesn't comment, but he's busy. He probably watches this show while he's coding or whatever. But in any event, so also that's just yield max. Hang on. We need it to be all. because the Round Hill ones are definitely on the all list. Definitely, it was Broadcom, AVGW. Yeah, there it is underneath there, TSLW. Okay. I mean, Yulmax has done well today, but not that well. All right. So anyway, we're going down the list. We have LQI, PLTW from Round Hill and VDW. That's a good look for those guys. TSLP from Curve. Maxi's doing a great job. Not for long if IBIT fills its gap and go, But anyway, for right now, it's doing a good job. TQQY, well, we don't see that one often, but YSpy was really doing well. And this is the brother company, brother ETF of YSpy. They do the same thing on the Qs that YSpy does on the spies. That's a great job there. RDTY, that's some real estate, right? RDTY is, forget what that one was. That's a REIT ETF, right? Anyway, AAPI looking good, beating Apple by quite a bit. That's good. That's from Granite Shares also, I believe, right? Or I should know that. I thought I'd have the name right here. Well, I think that's from Granite Shares. Anyway, whatever it's from, it's doing well. YMAG looks good. Even Feet got in on the action today. Man, even YSpy got in on the action. NVYY is looking good. AMDW. Anyway, everything's looking good. All right, so I think I've talked about everything I want to talk about. I'm doing the Alti and I'm doing the other stuff on a separate show that I'm going to record. I'm going to talk about ULTY and the holdings, the trades. I'm going to show some stuff. I'm going to record that as soon as I get out of here. So anyway, that's not going to be on this show. I'm trying to make this show more short and to the point. But I'd be happy to sit around and answer questions or whatever. Hey, yeah, you're welcome. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Wittenberry, Roxanne Rinberry, I appreciate you for being here. Not sure if I already talked about Granny. Well, you weren't listening. You need to listen. You probably weren't sure because you're probably listening to the radio in the car. You have to turn on Max. If you miss it the first time, Dan, I can't help you out. I mean, my gosh, that's the whole. I mean, anyway, yeah, I did. I just mentioned that I was going to buy. I was thinking about adding that. I'm between that and QLDY. Because I do want to add something today in case the bottom is in, but I want to save some cash too. So I have about 18% cash. I could spend 4.5. I'll make a 4.5% allocation to something today. I already have about 5% of QLDY, and I'd really like to bump that up to 10. I'm leaning towards QLDY, but I'm thinking about GRNI, but I haven't done. I need to do an actual review of it and that kind of stuff. And yeah, I saw Delta's piece this morning too. And yeah, he did a great piece on it. He compared the IV and he said it should be like Big Y and Triple Q. If I wanted something ultra safe in that category, I would just get GPTY. And I thought about buying it back also. Because I like Big Y, but it pays like a third of GPTY and doesn't even do as well. Same thing with Triple QI. I like it. I mean, but it pays about half and it hasn't been doing as well. And that's even including the AI pullback. So I guess I'm thinking about three things in either QLDY, GPTY, or possibly GRNI. I mean, possibly. GRNI would be some good diversification somewhat because Tom Lee does some different companies, but he also has that big Bitmine immersion in there, which is heavily tied to Ether. I have enough Ether exposure through blocks and stuff. So I'm probably going to go either GPTY or QLDY. I mean, Triple QI and Biggie are fine. They just don't pay enough yield and they don't do as well as other funds. But they're fine. They'll do better in a pullback because they pay less yield, they have less risk. I get that. Yeah, I'm gonna rebalance. Yeah, I could look at a target 25. I just like single stocks. I just don't care for single stocks. TSLW is bullish. I mean, it looked that way. It was on the. It looked that way to me. You got to make sure you make any Tesla surrogate or Tesla proxy, whatever is bullish if you like Tesla. But yes, TSLW should be particularly so because it has that little bit of leverage attached to it. Just make sure you're fine with owning Tesla. Tesla goes up, you'll be fine in any of them. If Tesla sells off 50% in the next 6 months, you'll hate any of them. You'll hate all of them, but if Tesla goes up, you'll be fine. You just at least don't want Tesla to sell off. VIX is actually up a bit since open. Yeah. So, okay. So, interesting. Yeah. And my ratio was improving, but it's still in the yellow. So, it's not like we're out of the woods yet, especially with Bitcoin. Anyway, there's G Will. I've already said hi to G Will. I've already said hi to my buddy there, Ethan. Ethan used to be in every one of these for a while. Ethan's an OG Max fan I'd say, especially back when the channel was doing that last spring. Ethan was there every day. But anyway, life happens. Ethan has other influencers he watches, and probably a job and a family, and so that's good. But I like that you're here once a week now or twice a week. That's badass, Ethan. I appreciate you. Why a 4.5% allocation? Well, because I have 18%. I'm 18% in cash right now. If the bottom's in, I don't want to stay 18% in cash. I'm not really convinced the bottom's in, seeing what Bitcoin's doing, but it might be. And even if it isn't, prices are lower in all of these ETFs that I'm thinking of. QLDY, they're lower than they were, a week ago when I was buying the dip. I bought the dip too early on blocks, and I had 30% cash at one point. The market sunk for a couple of days last week, and I bought blocks, and then it just kept going down. And then I bought Q yield. I'm way underwater on both of those. But it's fine. So I'm trying to think of, so the reason I divided 18 by 4, and if the market keeps going up, maybe I'll spend another 4 tomorrow, if I see more signs of life, or, if not. But if not, if this is a fake out and the market goes down, then I still have about 14.5% left to go. And then I'll, so I'm just trying to be methodical. So yeah, that's how I came up with 4.5, just because I want to put a fourth of the cash to work, just in case. STR's at 94. That's, hey, Retire. How are you doing, bud? Retire on dividends is in the house. Oh yeah, STRC. I mean, I like that one too, and I like CAIE. If I wanted to get a really stable one, I'd get CAIE or Triple QI or T-SPY or STRC. If I was fine with 10, 11, 12, 13%, yeah, those would be the ones. But, I'm hoping we still have a Santa Claus rally in this. And so I want to add some type of risk down here. And so that's why I'm thinking QLDY or GPTY. Bitcoin's now under 90. Yeah. So, and I haven't put that to work yet. So maybe that'll take the market down and I'll get a better price later. I thought about buying first thing this morning. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's all I was doing. It's nothing special about 4.5%. But it's just, I'm just trying to be judicious about it. Anyway, Rod's in the house. Okay. So let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, the terrific trio. Yeah, we did miss. Okay. So let's look at the terrific trio. The terrific trio is still going to be part of this report. But yeah, let's kind of look at, these are based on the latest positions. I think, I forget if I hit, actually, I think I forgot to, but this won't take a second. This won't take a second. Extract and calculate. Okay. We're going to hit run. Boom. All right. Now let's go back to the terrific trio and see what is going on. I think you got it. All right. So here's the blocks positions. The blue line is the weighting. The red line is the actual results, how much it's up or down. Look at Iron up 11%. Heck yes. Cypher mining up 11%. Somebody on the afternoon live stream saw that it was up big after hours. That's good. BITF. What the heck is that one? BITF. Now I'm going to have to look it up. I just haven't noticed that one in there yet. You have to watch what David buys. He bought Cypher before I'd ever heard of it, and it's done, maybe not lately, but it's done well. It did well after he bought it. So BITF, is that what it was? Yeah, BITF. There's a BIFT. Come on here. Oh, Bit Farms. Yeah, he's had that in there before. Okay. What is it? Mining something or data center or mining, probably a mining company. Boy, it's a micro cap, $2.90, or I don't know if it's a micro cap. It has a micro price. I would bet you it's also a small cap. It has 500 million shares at $2. So, what's that worth? 1.1 billion or something, or it's at $3. So $1.5 billion, something like that. You bought the dip though. I don't know when you got it. Anyway, okay. So back to this. Back to the terrific trio. Anyway, it's been a good day, and blocks is just killing it. Not as much as it was. But it's up 2.78. The average constituents also 2.78, or it's up 2.86. Average constituents up 2.78. So I'm catching all that sweet upside. Of course, MicroStrategies is hurting us because Bitcoin still can't get out of its own way, and that's going to affect Bitmine immersion also because it's Ether, and I guess Ether's also down. You can see they own an Ether ETF directly here, and Ether is down. So at least the ETF for Ether's down. But in any event, they have some of their single stocks are still killing it. So we'll see how long that lasts. LFGY, let's look over here. I should have done this right off the get-go. LFGY is up 2. Their average stock is up 1.85. That's a great look because they always say covered call funds are totally capped, and they are. But not the yield max ones. They're partially uncapped, and not blocks. Blocks is uncapped, and not QLDY. But yeah, normal funds are totally capped. But doesn't mean they can't get upside because the managers will roll out as the market moves up. So they're still catching upside, but not as much. But LFGY, that's a really good look. It usually doesn't catch more than its parent, but that's a good look. Look at blocks it's killing it. Everything's killing it today. These guys are only down in Bitmine Immersion, Coinbase, the Bitcoin stuff, Ether, MicroStrategies, and Mercado Libre, and Robinhood. All right. And then, of course, we have Alt-Y. Alt-Y is the beast. I love this one. It's up more than its constituents. That's not usual for this one. It's just having a really good day. It's usually up about 60% of its constituents. But anyway, this is an example of one that is totally capped. It's only uncapped in the sense that they manage it actively and they roll it as the market goes up. They cover and roll and cover and roll. But on a day-to-day basis, it's capped. All right. But anyway, these things are doing great. Iron, Symbotic, Soundhound. Good job, ULTY. Good job, ULTY. Love me some ULTY. Salty, I'm not really loving today, but it's fine though. But it's fine. I may be loving it tomorrow though. I mean, every day's a new day in the market. Salty's actually down a little bit. Their average stock is up a little bit, so they should be down a little bit. They should actually be down 1.4% if they were down at their portfolio performance. But they're only down about 40% of their parent. So that's good. That's a win for Salty. So we have some good management going on. And then on this, look at this. I have new stuff here too. I'm working on making this better. No, it's not there. Hang on. It is right. KYD. Oh yeah, results. Okay. So here's ULTI's results. Now I couldn't get the weightings on there. These are just the results, not the weightings. ULTI itself is up. I forgot to make that in form of a percentage. So what is that? I'll start it. Let me look at this. I mean, its percentages right there. We'll just look at it right here. I mean, it's up one. Okay, ULTI is up 1.74. Their average constituent's up 1.19. So they're beating their average constituent. That's great. This darn Canadian solar's down 12%. Now it's only 3.9% of the fund. Hang on, let me try this way. Let's do something like this. Or let's do this. And then let me try to insert a chart and see if we can get this thing working with the percentages. No, we don't want that. We want a darn bar chart or a column chart. And it's still messed up. Okay, I'm going to go back to the other sheet. The other sheet was better. At least we can see what everything's up on a relative basis. This Canadian Solar is killing us. SanDisk is killing us. It's down 9%. Oscar is killing us. But the rest of the stuff in ULTI is good. I say us. I shouldn't say us because I don't have this one yet. I wouldn't be opposed to getting it, but it's pretty heavy in Bitcoin. And I'm, that's Solar Edge. That's not Bitcoin. Riot, though. Riot's Bitcoin. Bullish, I don't know what that one is. Galaxy. It has some Bitcoin in it. Anyway, I just don't need any more risk right now, given that I have blocks in ULTY. All right. So anyway, that's it for that. Let's look at the K results and see how they're doing. K yield itself is up 1%. Average stock's up a little bit more. We'll take it though. Bitmine immersion's down. It's costing us, this I can say us because I have this one. Galaxy's doing well. AppLovin, Shopify. What's that? Shift 4 payments, AMD, Reddit. Anyway, they're looking good. I'll work on making that chart better. Okay, so now that's all I have for you guys. ULTI can't buy a Val. Yeah. ULTI just cannot. They couldn't. I mean, so far, they just, they've just got off to a really rough start. But they're hedged and everything. Now, that's going to be part of the other report that I'm getting ready to record. I'll show you where they're hedged, all that kind of stuff, their positions. It's just too long to try to put that in that stuff. I just want to stick to how they're doing, what's up, what's down on this report. So it'll get a lot better. Hey, Dylan was here last night. Dylan, were you the one that sent me $10? Somebody sent me $10 last night. Maybe it was you. It was from an LLC and I didn't recognize the name. And I tried to hit respond in PayPal and it said I couldn't email that person. So it probably either I'm blocked or it doesn't have an email account associated. Anyway, whoever it was, thank you for the money. I appreciate it. I'm going to go buy Jackson bully sticks. That's what I need to get him. I'm going to get him some bully sticks because he just wants to do something while I'm talking. So lately I've just been giving him a handful of food and turning him loose over there, but he's going to be big as a house if I keep doing that. You were 99. Okay. I appreciate that too. You were the super chat. Okay. I'll try and put it together. Somebody sent me a PayPal and I didn't recognize who it was, but yeah, I was right that you had something to do with it. It just wasn't, it was you. Okay. Hey Chad, I appreciate it, bud. Thank you very much. Chad's always sending me pay. You sent me like 3, I think. Where's that? You sent me a few of them. I appreciate that. I think Froggy sent me a few also. Sticker, you owe Rod some. Okay. Bitcoin's absolutely plummeting, Max. I know it. I'm trying to be positive and stuff. I like to give, but I just even before it started plummeting, I said that's not a good look how it's selling off it. So anyway, whatever I do, it looks like I'll wait till the end of the day to do it because maybe I'll get a better price. I can bring it up a chart on it. Absolutely. Of course, I've already done that, but you weren't here. You were probably listening to the radio. You're probably listening to the morning drive time, or you're probably listening to a I miss sports radio. That's one thing that's good about old, but up there in the part of the country you live in, you have some of the best sports radio in the world. But I love morning or afternoon sports shows. I love that kind of stuff. Don't listen to it anymore because YouTube's replaced the radio. When you drive, you still listen to the radio, but when I drive, I still do. But yeah, if this doesn't hold, I've heard somebody else say 86 might. And there was actually another area down there that I did see that there might be buyers. Okay. If this doesnn't hold, then we can look at buying the dip on 86. And then under that, we're going to 75, 76. And I just don't think that'll be bullish on the market. If that happens, the market will make a new low. It may not, it's not totally correlated, but if that happens, the market's probably going to 650, if not lower. Anyway, well, stuff's on sale. At least I have cash. At least I have salty, and at least I have YQQQ. I'm pretty well positioned, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I hear you though. All right. So next week, what are you saying, Mr. World Travel Adventures? Next week, we get BITY, ETTY, FEPI, SEPI, and AIPI. Oh, Decembers and distros. Yeah, you got to love some week 4 type stuff. Those are some good funds too. I like the idea of BITY. I like how it's, it only pays out 2%, even though it could pay out a lot more. Yeah. And I guess ETTY is the same thing, right? It's also from Amplify. I looked it up one time, but yeah, that's awesome. And we also have SLJY next week. Yeah, okay. 97.1 is top 10 nationally, I think. Is that out of Cleveland? I'm just picturing Cleveland. I mean, those are great sports cities up there. And it's because they have winter for 3/4 of the year. But I mean, Pittsburgh, anywhere up there in the Midwest, Chicago, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Philly, all the way over to New York, Buffalo. I mean, that's just sports. That's Sports Central. Down here, there's just too many other competing things to do. I mean, we have the Rockets and the Spurs. We do have. I mean, we are the home of college football, so that does benefit teams like the Cowboys. But yeah, we don't have a really healthy winter sports scene in the same way that LA doesn't. I mean, people, it's. And Florida doesn't really have a really good sports scene, in my opinion. I loved the Marlins a few years ago. I'm not saying they haven't had good teams here and there, but anyway. All right, guys. So I think I'm going to get out of here and go buy that other, go produce that other content. It's going to be pre-recorded. It'll probably be out about noon or something, but I'm trying to do a daily pre-recorded show basically on the Diversified Divas, but I'm trying to turn it into its own show because that's a show within itself, just covering blocks, ULTI, ULTY, and all those. So anyway, UT sucks, SMU, and Tech. Yeah, I hear you on that. What about who's good? Lots of years. I mean, maybe not. Is TCU can have good teams? Texas Tech. Well, my point is, in the Southwest, you have great college football. I mean, maybe not every year, but yeah. I mean, I love Texas A&M. I mean, Texas A&M. I mean, when they had Manziel, and then after that they had Kyler Murray, but then he came to Oklahoma, and I just love me some Texas football. We have the best, and also high school football. I mean, you know how many Heisman Trophy winners live within 5 miles of my house, grew up within 5 miles of my house. We had Drew Brees. I don't know if he won the Heisman, but we had Drew Brees, went to school right down the street. Baker Mayfield went to school about 15 miles away. Who else? There's a ton of them. There's a ton of them that are from the Austin area. I'm drawing a blank right now. This is quarterback central here. Anyway, for high school and stuff, high school and college, maybe not so much for pros. Drew Brees did definitely do well in the pros. Baker's done all right, but he was a great high school quarterback. I mean, great high school and great. Not to mention, what about Patrick Mahomes? He didn't go to school in Austin, but he was a great Texas quarterback. Kyler Murray. We just have great high school and college players that come from this area of the woods. I'm a big fan of college football and that kind of stuff. But yeah, Texas is having a bad year this year, and they beat my Sooners somehow. My Sooners are having a decent year, might make a run for the playoffs. If we would have, but we let Texas beat us. Anyway, that's fine. You live in East Austin. Oh, you lived, okay. So you know all about that. Yeah. Heck yeah. I live in West Austin. I live out here in the Northwest Hills, and I love it. East Austin's fine too, but I'm just addicted to the hills. I've got in such good shape jogging up and down these hills. I mean, they got some smaller hills in East Austin, but heck yeah, I love it. I'm never leaving. Austin barbecue's better than Dallas. I mean, Dallas has great Tex-Mex. I mean, and San Antonio does too. San Antonio's the home of Tex-Mex, but Dallas just has great food and dining generally. Chili's came from Dallas. Dallas is awesome as far as the food scene goes. Austin's always kind of been little brother, but yes, Austin barbecue and Austin breakfast tacos. I mean, Austin, the taco truck business is solid in Austin. But yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, thank you, Tom. Thanks for saying thanks. Your family moved in. Oh, it's from Lampasas. Okay. Yeah. I'm never leaving. My family's from Oklahoma, but I got down here and was here about 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm never leaving this place. I'm never leaving. I was on 6th Street. It was during, I remember the moment it happened. I was standing in front of Waterloo Records at the corner of 6th and Lamar, and it was during ACL or maybe South by South, but no, it was during ACL, and there was people everywhere, bands everywhere, and and it was just, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not in Oklahoma anymore, and I'm never leaving this place. Never been to Franklin's. Style Switch, La Barbecue, Cooper. Oh yeah, those are the ones you like. I've never been to Franklin's, but it has a line and stuff. And I mean, I like barbecue, all right, but I think all the barbecue down here is good. I mean, I went to Stubbs, and I know that's commercialized or whatever, and it's more of a place to watch a band. But man, that was some of the best. That was some great brisket, and that was just at Stubbs. I went to Stubbs the first week I was down here, just because it was easy to get in and out of, and I was in that part of town. But you can't hardly get a bad barbecue. I like Terry Black's a lot. Terry Black's is really good barbecue. But the main thing down here that's really good, because Austin can't compete on Tex-Mex, that's Dallas, but Austin has really good tacos. You send Austin barbecue some up to Michigan. Oh yeah, there's people that ship. Tom Sosnoff from Tasty Trade was in town the other day. I was supposed to go see him, but one of my friends' mother was sick, and so I had to watch his dog. Anyway, so I missed it, and that's too bad, because it was Tom's last ever Tasty Trade appearance, and I think it was last Friday morning, or maybe 2 Friday mornings ago in Austin. Anyway, but I watched Tom like on his show, and he was talking about coming to Austin, and they went to Terry Black's for lunch, and Tom was saying that he orders Terry Black's brisket and has it sent up to Chicago. And I've been to Terry Black's a time or two, and I really didn't think it was as good as Stubbs. But I mean, it's all good. Oh, I heard that there's a Terry Black's in Dallas also. Terry Black, the man Terry Black is from a little town with a beautiful courthouse. I forget the name of it. It's about 45 minutes southeast of here, down by Manor. Anyway, the original Terry Black's, I've even been there, and there's another bar. Anyway, but yeah. But I believe he's from down there. Anyway, all right. So what are you saying there, Ethan? You're always grateful and willing to listen to your thoughts and perspective. You're the best friend I've always wanted. We'll kick it. Yeah, you guys are. I feel that same way about all of you guys. If I need anything, like the night that the trolls attacked me, you guys all jumped in. I had like 6 guys on my Discord. I had guys that weren't on my Discord that were from Rod's Discord, and I made them mods. So I could count on you guys too. Maybe it was Bastrop. I think it was. But anyway, I think that's the original Terry Black's is down there. I love some barbecue. There's something now called Satellite Barbecue that's #1 on Texas Monthly, and it's in a little strip mall up on 183 up towards Cedar Park. And but that one, I think that's winning the Texas Monthly Best Barbecue Contest lately. I want to go there. There's a line out the door, I've heard, and I haven't gone there yet, but I think it's called like Satellite or something like that. Do I think ULTY will turn around, or ULTI? I'd wait. I mean, a few days, because Bitcoin just looks bad. I think it'll turn around when the market turns around. But the problem with ULTI blocks is they're so heavy into miners and that kind of meme economy stuff. It might be rough going for them. So yes, I don't think it's a flawed idea. I think it'll catch a lot of upside, but it's just heavily dependent on memes to be back in. Let's go look one more time. You guys got me sidetracked talking about food. Yeah, but my favorite taco place here is a place called Tyson's Taco. Used to be a taco stand, but now they made it into a regular place, and it's incredible. But it's still, like I say, Dallas is still the champion for Tex-Mex. The Blue Goose is probably the best Tex-Mex I've ever had. I love the Blue Goose. I think they shut the Blue Goose down, though. But, man, the original Blue Goose on Greenville, I've been going there since the 80s. They shut that one down and moved to Addison, and I think the one in Addison shut down, too. And then, of course, in San Antonio, San Antonio for Tex-Mex, my Lord. But yeah, we have tacos are our thing here. They have a brisket taco there. Well, they have a smoker at it's like they have at this place called Tyson's. If anyone's ever in Austin, Tyson's Taco, they have a smoker, and they have something called they have a burnt ends taco. It is absolutely incredible. Then they have a pork belly. It's like, I think it's a pork belly taco or something. That one's incredible too. You can't get a bad taco in this town, especially not at Tyson's. But I'd hold off on ULTI. I just think that one's for the people that with a lot of risk tolerance. Maybe if you had every other one of these funds and you have money, you already have plenty of growth and you have money in regular stuff. Yeah, I mean, ULTI could work as a part of a high yield portfolio for sure. I'm not saying anything bad about ULTI, but if you're on the younger side and just looking for one of these to speculate on or whatever, I'd wait on ULTI a little bit. It's just so dependent on Bitcoin. Anyway, but if you're interested in it, I'm going to pre-record a show and I'm going to go over every holding they have and we can talk about it or watch that show and then let me know what you think. Bitcoin, I mean, the bullish scenario is okay. It took out the low by just a little bit, and it's rejected it for now. Maybe that was the last little low they need and then it'll rally. But I'm just, until it can at least take back the darn moving average. I mean, heck, it even took back the moving average last week and it wasn't super bullish last week. That was still a great place to sell. But lately we can't even take back the moving average. I mean, that's just a sign of a sign of distribution. In other words, it's being sold. The sellers are overwhelming the buyers. So I think the two things for Bitcoin is it takes back 99 or 100. That was a big area of support that I lost. It takes back 99 or 100, stays above the moving average for a couple of days. So I would hold off on ULTY, not financial advice. Do I like NK? Do I like Nike stock? I don't really follow individual stocks. I just have Vanguarded stuff for growth. I mean, they're all in there. So Max, go to Cedar Park barbecue cook-off. Oh, cool. I've never heard of that, but that's I never heard of that. My buddy works in Cedar Park, or he works up towards Cedar Park. But yeah, Dave, I would hold off on ULTI, just me. But why don't you guys weigh in also? Sometimes I can be too conservative. Anyway, that's cool. Maybe I'll go to that next year or something, or whenever it is. You don't got time for singles, group ETFs only. Yeah, me too. I learned my lesson. I mean, I had to do it. I'm just like you guys. I hear stuff on the internet and I get excited and everyone's the Misty Mafia. And I'm like, okay, I can do single stocks. So I bought some last December, but I'm smart. So I'm going to buy 5 single stocks because I'm not just going to put it all in one, right? Well, I bought blocks. I bought Misty. I bought whatever blocks was, XYZY, or, I bought Misty. I bought PP. There's PayPal that was doing great. I was running a max factor back then, and I bought the ones that were on top of the max factor. I got like 5 of them. I got AMDY, and something else, and they all got murdered. I lost 20% in a few months, and I also got ULTY. It also got murdered. But it's, I don't know if it's a single stock's fault, but I just decided after that, I'm in indexes only. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here and go make that other show. But the people that are interested in ULTI, be sure to watch that other show. It'll be on about noon. I will talk to you guys later. See ya.